Hey everyone, welcome to the third part of interview series, and I have next 10 questions that would be relevant to beginners and intermediate. Okay, and those are really good questions, not just like explain something, but are good questions. Let's go through these 10 questions. I'll share the link of my blog, and you'll find the answers as well in the same blog. So the first question is, what all could be the back end of basic load balancer? Well, if you are following my AZ300 series, recently we have completed basic load balancer and standard load balancer, and there is a very good comparison and differentiation between the backend pool of both the load balancer. Just for the sake of the answer, backend pool for the basic load balancer could be a single VM. If you need to put multiple VM, those VMs should be the part of availability set, or you can add VMSS. Okay, cool. Now, second question. Customer wanted very low latency between the Azure VM. As that's the need or requirement of the application, what all could you suggest? Okay, so we need to think for the solutions in Azure which provides low latency. For example, recently proximity placement group, okay, and accelerated networking, which provides you very low latency between the Azure VMs. Okay, so if I need to answer this question, I will not just say proximity placement group and accelerated networking, or use proximity placement group along with the accelerated networking, rather add something about both the features. Okay, it is like a proximity placement group is an Azure virtual machine logical grouping capability that you can use to decrease the inter VM network latency associated with your applications. When the VMs are deployed within the same proximity placement group, they are physically located as close as possible. Okay. Now, similarly, you need to talk about the accelerated networking a little more. Okay. You need to tell them accelerated networking enables single root IO virtualization, which you might have seen SRIOV, that is single root IO virtualization to VM, greatly immensely improving its networking performance. This high performance path bypasses the host from the data path, reducing latency, jitter, and CPU utilization for use with the most demanding network workloads on supported VM types. Okay, I have everything concluded for you at the bottom, you can see, and there are the link for the YouTube videos where I have explained accelerated networking and proximity placement group. Go read about it and it will be really helpful if you want to understand accelerated networking or PPG in depth or the architecture. Okay, along with these two, because we know accelerated networking is not applicable to all the VM types or sizes, so you can also utilize RSS, which is receive side scaling. Okay, for all other VMs where accelerated networking is not allowed or not applicable, you can utilize receive side scaling. Okay, there is a link provided in the same blog which can let you know how you can go ahead and benefit it by RSS. This can reach higher maximal throughput than a VM without RS. Okay, that's another feature. All right, what is the best way to check which NSG rule is blocking the traffic? Well, this question I wrote in a particular manner because There are situations where the NSG's rules are so many. So rather you go ahead and go through each and every rule, and there are situations where the IP addresses or the CIDR ranges are mentioned that you cannot see from the portal, but you need to click on the rule just to go through the IP address. That is very tiring and time consuming. And there is no guarantee that you figure out that particular IP address is open or blocked. But you can utilize Azure Monitor Network Watcher. Go to the Network Watcher under IP flow. You can put the destination and the target and figure out whether the traffic allowed or not. This is a wonderful feature. If it is blocked, it will give you the exact name of the rule that this rule is blocking. Cool. All right. Now, how to enable the hybrid benefit in Azure? How can I deploy VM using hybrid use benefit? Well, that is a very interesting question. And during the migration, it comes even in the discussions. And the people who are actually performing the migration, they have to take care of this part as well. Okay, so we all know what hybrid benefit is. If you already have the licenses and you want to move to Azure, you want to utilize the same licenses so that you need not to pay the entire price for the VM, but the discounted price. You do have the images on the marketplace. When you create the VM, you can there's an option, save money. You can go and choose that. And if the machine has already been created, you can go to the configuration option, and from there you can go for the HUB. Okay. Now, what is scaling types and how can you use it to benefit your app? Okay, well, for this, I have created a huge video in architectural concepts, and you can go and watch. I have shared the link as well. But for now, if we just need to talk, we all know what is scaling. Scaling is, if I have to define, as the ability for an resource to handle growing or decreasing demands in a capable manner. Okay, so the what kind of types, as I said, growing or decreasing, increasing demand or decreasing demand. So types are scale in and scale out. And how can you use it to benefit your app? Well, it depends. When there is a more load on your application, for example, if you have an e-commerce website and on the Friday night there is a sale there, of course you would have a lot many requests as compared to usual days. So, or if your traffic goes up and down without any schedule, it happens. So automatically the backend VM, which is handling the request, can increase as per the demand and decrease if the demand decreases, so that you need not to pay for the resources which are not in use. Okay, so scale in and scale out. Now, even scaling could be of two types: vertical scaling and horizontal scaling. In horizontal scaling, we'll be adding the machines, and in vertical scaling, we are increasing the size of the machine. Okay. Now, can you change the name of Azure VM on the portal? If yes, how? Okay, well, if you go to the Azure portal, you click on virtual machines, you'll find all the name of the virtual machine. That is the name we are talking about here. If you go to the virtual machines overview page, you'll find the name there that would be coming from the inside of the virtual machine. That you can change from the system properties. Okay, we all know that from where we put the machine in the domain. But we're talking about the portal. Well, as of now, there is no such configuration by which you can change the name. But if it is so necessary and it is very important, you need to ask for the downtime, and you got to delete the VM and recreate the VM with the help of remaining disk. attach if the data disk is there already. If not, then it is in it is good for you. Need not to spend a lot of time, just recreate the VM with the new name. Okay, can you add the existing machine in the AV set? If yes, how? Same kind of concept is applicable as we discussed in question 6. There is no such option in Azure portal as of now, but you can delete the VM and recreate the VM with the help of disk and put the disk in the availability set that you want to add this machine in and create the machine. So you do require a downtime. Don't forget this. And of course, always whenever you are going to do such kind of workaround where you got to delete the VM and recreate it, make sure you capture all the relevant information, like what size of the VM, what is the name of the VM, which resource group, the NSGs, the IP addresses, all those kind of things. Please capture it so that once you have created new VM, you apply the same settings on it. All right. Cool. Now, difference between managed disk and unmanaged disk. You might have heard this question all the time. Managed disks are managed by Microsoft Azure, and unmanaged is something where we gotta manage those disks. We gotta create the storage account and manage it. Okay, in managed disk, we don't need to create any storage account. It would be taken care by Microsoft, and you need not to worry about the IOPS of the storage account, because in unmanaged disk, you gotta worry about the IOPS of the storage account. In unmanaged, we create the storage account, and one storage account can uh, support up to 20,000, I think 20,000 IOPS. So that gives you approx 40 VMs, because a single VM may have 500 IOPS, and 500 into 40 is equal to 20,000. All right, so managed disk has a lot of other features as well, along with just the storage and this IOPS difference. Okay, you need to check the link I'm sharing at the bottom, or the video link. I'll create an architectural video which actually showing the difference, but for the sake of interview answers, this managed disk is provide you better reliability for your availability sets, because managed disk provides better reliability for AV set by ensuring that the disk of VMs in an availability set are sufficiently isolated from each other to avoid single point of failure. But in case of unmanaged, all the machines are part of the same. Okay, and okay, let's go to another question. If you want to load balance between AV zones, what kind of Azure load balancer you need? Okay, this is standard Azure load balancer, which is zonal as compared to basic, which is not. And you got to use the standard IP address, which are zonal as well. Now, if I create a standard managed disk from an existing VHD that's 80 GB, how much will that cost me? Okay, this question is not to worry about the numbers. It is more like the question is, are you going to pay for the disk that you're using, or you're going to pay for the entire disk? The answer is for the entire disk. Because if you go and check, it would be like S1, S2, S3, those kind of disk. If this 80 GB, let's suppose, falls under S10 disk, that is up to 127 GB. So whether you use 80 or 90 doesn't matter. You gotta pay for 120 or 127 GB, the entire size of the disk. Okay. Well, there was fun. There was little questionnaire, and we discussed almost all the questions. And at the bottom, I have shared all the links that you can go ahead and go through. Okay. So that's all about it. Well, thank you for watching. Take care. Bye bye.